Hello and welcome back to another Hola Prime educational video. My name's Christopher Lewis, and in this video I'll be talking about Bollinger Band. Now, Bollinger Bands are named after a man named Bollinger who, in the 1970s, started to work with the idea of standard deviations. The Bollinger Band works on pretty much the same idea as the bell curve. And what I mean by that is 90+% of all action happens within two standard deviations of the norm. And he developed a pretty widely used indicator to give you an idea of that. The standard normal flow of a market, according to Bollinger, is the 20 moving average, and therefore what you're looking at when you look at a Bollinger Band is three levels, one of which is two standard deviations above the 20 SMA, and the other that would be two standard deviations below. So the idea is that eventually price returns to its norm. Now, there is a lot to be said for that, but you really need some type of significant stretch to use Bollinger Bands on a reversal. But there are other ways you can use it. You can use it to follow trends. So, for example, if you're in a downtrend and you get a bit of a bounce, if you get a little stretch to the upside, it might be time to look to go short again. Bollinger Bands can be used in a plethora of different ways, and like all other indicators, it's probably best to be used with something else. There is no one magic indicator. Trading isn't that simple. It isn't a matter of, if a candlestick does this, well, then do that automatically. It's normally a situation where you're looking for two or three reasons to buy or sell a security, but nonetheless, this is one that's pretty widely followed, so it does make a lot of sense that you have at least some knowledge of how it works. So with that, let's take a look at the charts. In front of you, you have the Australian dollar US dollar currency pair, and you can see that there are three different lines here on the chart. And what these lines are is the Bollinger Band indicator. The middle line is the 20 SMA, and of course you can change all of this. And the upper line is two standard deviations higher. The bottom line is two standard deviations lower. So remember, in your math classes, there was that bell curve, and something like, off the top of my head, I believe 96-ish% of all actions happen within the two standard deviations on the bell curve. And like I said, that's literally all this indicator tries to capture. So you'll notice that it does trend for quite some time. And there are a couple of different ways you can use the Bollinger Band. Quite frankly, unless you're in a trend, I don't like using it, with one exception, which I will show you a little later. So the 20 SMA rolls over at the top up here and then starts to fall apart. And notice for quite some time on this daily chart, from roughly late October to right around mid-January, every time the market reached towards the normalcy, the 20 SMA, the Australian dollar fell further. You can see that we did break below the -2 standard deviations here and bounced to this direction and then sold off again. That's generally how I would play it. There are traders that will look at this and they'll say, okay, we're outside the two standard deviations, I want to be a buyer. The problem you have with that is sometimes when you see that, price basically goes sideways, and then moving average will actually catch up with it. So it's not really the way I like to trade. I like to stay within the trend always, and then use the middle line as resistance, and most certainly the upper line, because in this downtrend, if you break the top, then you have to question things. Now you'll see right here, we did break the top and then we slammed right back down to the bottom. We'll have to see how that plays out, but you can see how much trouble you can get into if you try to get too cute with Bollinger Bands. Let me go ahead and change the pair. So this is a pair that tends to range quite a bit. You can see I have support and resistance on the euro against the Swiss franc drawn out over the last almost year. And notice how you could, I guess, in theory, use Bollinger Bands, but if you short here and try to take profit there, the risk to reward doesn't make sense. So again, I like a trending market. You will also notice that the bands widen out when markets really start getting moving, and they shrink when they're not doing anything. And that's because after a while, the average movement will shrink. So therefore, two standard deviations is something that moves 30 pips is not going to be anything at all like a market that's been breaking 150 pips a day for the last 20 days. So if you think about it, it does make sense. Another reason I like sticking with the trend is you'll notice that as we rallied here, we did what they call walking the band. We just walked straight up this band. We eventually did pull back, but as you can see, we bounced from there. Notice something else. When we did pull back there, we just tested previous resistance and found it to be support. So keep that in mind when you're taking these trades as well. You cannot lose sight of horizontal support and resistance. Let me go ahead and pull up another chart here. Let's do the NASDAQ 100 with the Bollinger Band. And you can see if you just follow the trend and you buy on the dips, you would have done quite well. Now, right now, as I record this, it looks like the trend's doing everything it can to change. And that really wouldn't be confirmed unless you had a lower high. So maybe we rally to 21,500 and start falling again. Then you have to start thinking about a downtrend. As a general rule, though, you don't want to short indices. They're not, at least most indices, are not equal weighted. So they're not designed to fall. They put more weight on the higher volume indexes or stocks in the index. So therefore, if the top 10 stocks in the NASDAQ 100 are moving higher, the NASDAQ 100 will move higher. So just keep that in mind. And you'll notice over the longer term, in the case of an index, it does tend to trend. And while you may have had some issues along the way, overall, every time this thing fell, you made money over the last couple of years. So let's try something else. Let's try the US dollar and the Japanese yen. And notice how once we rolled over and really started to break down, the middle line is now offering resistance. So short sellers continue to sell there. Whether or not that holds, we don't know. Something that is worth paying attention to is this explosive candlestick here where we closed outside of the positive 2 standard deviation. And that kicked off a pretty strong move to the upside. So trying to fade that would have been disastrous. So how do you get around that? Well, number one, you realize where you're at. This is an area that could be resistance. You could make an argument for shorting, but you didn't have the price action. You didn't have the candlestick that said, hey, we're going to start falling. So don't look at just whether or not we're outside of the Bollinger Band. Look at the candlestick as well. And as I preach in almost all of these videos, you need multiple reasons to be in a trade, not just because of the band is doing this or that. But you'll notice how the Bollinger Band gets really tight here. And then notice how it widens up. When the Bollinger Bands do this, typically that means there's a big move coming. So while I don't trade this, I notice this. And then I say, okay, which way are we going? In this case, it was pretty obvious. We had 3 big candlesticks in a row. So we were going higher. So that is a Bollinger Band compression. So that is something to watch as well. It just tells you that the market is really tight and it will more likely than not make a move sooner rather than later. I'm not going to lie, Bollinger Bands are not my favorite indicator, but they can be used in conjunction with other indicators. They're great for trends. When there's not a trend, this is what you want to see. You want to see compression because it tells you sooner or later you're going to get a big move. Like this candlestick here was your real tell. Now, why was it? Because you broke the recent resistance closed almost at the top of the candlestick, and this thing just launched from there. So always keep that in mind. Bollinger Bands, they're useful. It just depends on how you want to trade. They definitely need to be traded within a trend, unless, again, you're looking for that Bollinger Band compression, sometimes called Bollinger Band squeeze. Same thing. It'll give you an idea that the market is ready to start moving fairly soon, and your job is just to look for a large positive or a large negative candlestick to get involved. It does work in all time frames, but like anything else, the higher the time frame, the better off you're going to be as far as reliability is concerned.